I did forget to ask you to introduce yourself at the beginning, so if you would like to introduce yourself, tell people about what you do and everything real quick.
Oh, sure thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Well, I'm LSuperSonicQ. I'm a content creator on YouTube, and I make a lot of videos about lost media and other lost interests. And I've been doing it for more years than I'd like to
A
remember.
good while.
I think my channel's 16 years old, which is
Really?
like crazy.
Hmm. So, how's your day going so far?
Fairly productive. I was doing a recording for a video. Finally going to have another video out. So that was good.
Okay, well, I guess we can just jump right into it. I have a few questions wrote down on my phone. So the first question that I have is what really got you started in the lost media?
So okay, so it's a classic story. That was Blame It on Jorge's Top 40 Lost or Banned Kids video from 2015. It was that video. It had randomly come up in my recommended. I didn't even know what lost media was, but it had randomly come up. I said, oh, there are characters in the thumbnail that like I remember from my childhood. I said, like, what does that mean? What does lost media have to do with that? Like, what is that? So I clicked it, and that's what got me kind of to know what lost media was. But specifically in that video, it was the segment on Kablam episode 29 that pulled me into lost media, because the whole thing with that was Kablam was like a Nickelodeon cartoon variety show, and there was this episode that people like didn't know if it was real or not. It was episode 29, and I'm like, how can people not know if like an episode of a show exists or not? Like, it didn't make any sense to me. So that specifically was something that I like looked into from that video, and then I found the lost media wiki and the community, and like I that's really what sucked me into it all.
I see. So like, you seen that and you kind of like got intrigued, I guess, and like just started like, it was like a domino effect, really.
Yes, that's a very good way to put it, because then from Kablam, like A Day with SpongeBob came out not long after that, like the big search for that, and then like the McDonald Land Lock VHS tape search was around that time too. There were all these new things I was coming across just because I was on the wiki looking for Kablam stuff that I came, other cartoon stuff, whether it was from my childhood or not. And yes, it kind of pulled me into that entire subculture that I had just no idea even existed at that point.
Okay. So jumping into my next question, instead of looking at the past, we're gonna jump towards the future. And do you like have any plans for your future content, or is it just gonna be making more lost media type videos?
That's a really, really good question. You picked a very interesting like era to ask that question in. I definitely think for my content specifically, I still enjoy the mystery of something being lost, regardless of what it is. Like, I've done a lot of collectible videos, and I know like collectibles aren't lost media, but like finding lost merchandise, or I guess that's what people kind of call it. Like, I love that. So I definitely think for my content, it's still going to focus on that lost aspect. It's still going to be a mystery, a search, something we can't find or that people would want to find or see. But I think specifically in terms of like lost media in the traditional sense, I actually am kind of pulling away from it to some extent. And I think the biggest reason for that, I want to point to me and my friends, but I don't really just want to point to me and my friends. But like, that's one of the biggest things is me and my friends, as I'm sure you know what me and my friends is.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Like, that was found back in June. And at that point, I think it hit a lot of people really hard, but I think maybe it hit me harder than I thought, where this is kind of a phenomenon where when a big search ends, people don't know what to do with themselves after that. This happened with A Day with SpongeBob. When that was over, people didn't know what to search for. And obviously I have so many topics I could search forever for stuff. But me and my friends was like a very big one, a very long one.
And it lasted about 8 years, right?
Yes, it was. I believe it was 8 years from when I did my video on it. It was, I think, 5 years from the sewer reviewer, revived the search. And then it was even before that, before Lost Media, there was like, the Backyardigans wiki stuff. They were like looking for all that stuff. So like, yeah, I think it's probably close to maybe like 11, 12 years altogether.
I do actually have a question about me and my friends in my notes. How does it make you like feel that after 8 years that me and my friends has finally been found?
And that's the tricky part. This is almost like you combine both of these questions into one. Yeah. That's the tricky part, because I was like, I don't even want to say I was like happy. I almost want to say relieved. I was relieved when it was found, because it was one of those like, it was one of those things that it just needed to end. It had gone on for too long. We had exhausted too many leads. It was not fun. It was not fun anymore. It was just tiring and frustrating. Yeah. So to see it end, I was very relieved that I don't have to do this anymore.
It was like a weight lifted off your chest.
Yes. And I feel like that in itself is like an inherent problem, because Lost Media shouldn't feel like that. It should be fun. That's why people search for stuff. So at that point, when a search gets to that point, it needs to end, because it's not fun anymore. Yeah. And I think, to kind of circle back to the other original question, I feel like with so many big topics having been found, like Me and My Friends, I mean, obviously you go further back, Wicked Witch stuff, but then even smaller stuff like JBVO, like, well, I guess that wasn't all archived yet, but like there's someone with all the master tapes and stuff. Yeah. As all the Jimmy Two Shoes pilot, Family Guy pilot, as all this stuff kind of gets found, I ask myself, what am I even looking for anymore? And there are a couple things that I still want to find, like Slamfest. Slamfest is probably one of my biggest things right now.
That's actually, I actually have another question involving that, like if you're currently in any big like searches right now. So.
Oh, wow. Okay. Do you want to just jump to that question, or?
Well, you can keep going, but like I feel like it's already kind of like connecting itself.
Yeah, I guess I ramble quite a bit, so I'm covering a large area of your questions. But yeah, like Slamfest and stuff, I look at those topics and I said there are a few that I still am really, really passionate about, but for the most part, I feel like kind of the interest that people have in these topics is changing. The community is changing. I'm finding myself just having less time to do these big searches anymore. So with the content itself, I like doing the Lost stuff, but I don't think I want to stay in traditional Lost Media, because it's changing, and I kind of want to like just not move on, but like evolve into the next area of content creation when it comes to videos. And for big searches, I would say I'm not really in any big searches anymore. I don't even really know of any that are happening. The last one I can really think of, I guess if you want to call it a big search, was like Jumper. That kind of caught fire for no reason.
Because I seen your video on it, like your first video that included a Jumper in it, and it got me really thinking about it too. Because then I seen your second video about it and everything like that, and I think you made 2 or 3. But I seen the video where you said you had actually tried buying the tape and you ended up getting it. And that was really cool.
Yeah, and that in itself, that connection that like you made to the video is, I think, exactly like what people want in a Lost Media search. Like Joe, and this is the one thing too that like I was really frustrating with the Jumper search, is that people, not everyone, like obviously it was really big in the wiki in my community. Yeah. Like, a lot of people online did not, like, I don't want to say like Twitter, but like, Twitter, whatever, but like people did not understand why we were looking for that. We were not looking for Jumper because it was a kid show, and we love kid shows, and we want to be entertained by. It was exactly for the reason you said. It was this strange, bizarre thing that felt like it didn't need to exist or shouldn't exist. Why is it so hard to find? What's the story behind it? And that in itself was why so many people were drawn into it, as I was too, and you were. Yeah. So yeah, I would say that was probably like the last big thing I was really involved in. And other than that, a lot of the other things are either old, like JoJo Phantom Blood. I still keep tabs on that.
Oh my!
But the search for that's not going a lot of places right now.
Yeah, Funny enough, that was the next question involving JoJo Phantom Blood. It was, do you think that within the next 1, maybe 2 years, all of JoJo Phantom Blood will be found, and good quality too?
That's a really good question. I feel like for years I've been saying, "Oh, this is going to be the year, guys," and then it just like never happens. It keeps getting like pushed off.
Yeah.
It's really hard to date lost media stuff, especially with like, because I used to kind of do that more intensively. I would say, how long do you guys think it's going to be until Slamfest gets found, or like this or that? But you never quite know. I feel like specifically with Phantom Blood, I feel like it's probably going to be. I want to say it's going to be longer than I think we think it's going to be. I would have said like 1 or 2 years, maybe 1 or 2 years ago, and like we still have possible leads on that I've like discussed vaguely before. But as far as I know, there has not been a lot of movement with them, so I don't really foresee there being like a lot of movement like overnight. So I think we probably are at minimum a year out, maybe 2 years out. I think JoJo had an anniversary recently.
Yeah, it did. I don't remember what it's called though.
Yeah, I didn't really follow it too closely. I just heard about it in passing. But I know like one of the official Twitter accounts made a tweet about like I think the theme song from the movie, like the Voodoo Kingdom song, and people thought, "Oh my God, is this a hint that they're going to re-release the movie?"
Yeah.
But it didn't happen. So I don't really see there being a reason. If not for an anniversary, I don't see there being a reason why they would just randomly re-release it. And I think leaks at this point, like, oh, this Japanese user just posted it on YouTube today. I don't see that being a possibility either.
Well, like you never really know too, though, because like me and my friends, it just popping up randomly, and people downloading it like that. That's like the main thing that surprised me, really. I didn't think we'd find it that way, like the full version at least. Because like
that's a good point. If someone said to me and my friends is going to get found through a leak, I would have said probably not. Like it just didn't see, because everyone I had talked to up to that point, had said nope. There's no digital file of it. It hasn't been archived, this or that. So I never would have guessed that it would have come from a leak. But I guess it actually was. It only was leaked because I guess within the past year it actually was digitally archived at Nick for the first time. I heard so.
Oh really? I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, that's what I kind of heard in passing from people in the know. So if it hadn't been for that, we maybe wouldn't have gotten it at all.
So do you think that Super Mario 64 Big Star Secret will eventually be found, given that we have about 4 months left of 2025?
Yes, I think out of probably like most current ongoing searches that are like older like that, I think that one probably has the greatest chance of being found, mostly just because of the amount of steady progress that's been made on it. Like with Slamfest, we're at a dead end. JoJo, like dead end, but the Big Star Secret video has had steady progress. It's been long, it's a long search, but it's been fairly consistent. And I think given the nature that it is an internet video, I know that like not everything on the internet is always there. Obviously, like we're looking for the video that half or more than 500,000 people saw. But I think given that, it's much different than like, okay, Shueisha in Japan is the only company that would officially have like JoJo movie. Like this is like, it was online. Like it's a different circumstance. So I don't know if we'll see it before the end of this year, but like I'm fairly confident that like we will get that eventually. I don't think it's like lost forever.
Yeah. Because like I wasn't really like too big into the search for Super Mario 64 Big Star Secret, but like I'm still interested in it. So I don't really know the story behind it. Like I know what's happened so far and like what it's about mainly, but I'm not sure exactly where we're at in the search right now. I know some clips have been found, some like low quality clips have also been found too, but like still it's like where are we exactly at in the search for it?
I think right now the current theory is that in the most likely way how it's going to be found, I believe, is people need to look through the the saved folders on their hard drive, because most recently that's how the newest clip was found. It was like I think it was like 40 seconds, a clean 40 seconds of someone in the Lost Media Wiki Discord server named Peter, they were going through their like archived folders on their hard drive, and they had those 40 seconds from when they watched it. And I think the theory is if you were watching the video, I guess, and then shut your computer off while you were watching it, I guess because if you got jump scared or whatever, like the temporary file will be saved to your hard drive. That was like some type of thing, that like the computers would do. So right now, basically, it's like okay, everyone, look through your hard drives. If you remember watching the video and got scared by it, maybe you shut your computer off while it was running, and it might be in your hard drive. So it's kind of like a hands-on effort type thing, I guess. Right now is where it's at, but I mean, people weren't doing that like 2 years ago, so yeah. I consider that progress, and clearly we've gotten more from it through that method, so it's worked to some degree. Because
like something like, not just with this, but like whenever I'm thinking about like searches that are going on, like something in the back of my head is like for TV shows, for example, it's like there's got to be at least one person out here who's like recorded over it with like a VHS and like other ways of it. Like, there's got to be someone out there who has it that we could like get to and talk to, but like I just don't know who, you know?
Right, and that's a very common like train of thought with so many of these searches. Same thing with Slamfest, that was brought up a lot. Is like someone out there, like from the companies that helped produce it, like they live streamed it. Like we know that the company that handled the broadcast did recordings. That there are tapes and recordings of other stuff they did. It's not like Slamfest just existed and then just vanished, and like it, yes, there is a trail to follow, and like someone out there had to have had a physical hand in the creation or the production, the archive. Yes, like that makes so much sense. Yeah. And you'd think it would be easier to find because of that, but like strangely, the irony is that it's harder, even though you know someone out there probably has it.
I feel like it'd be harder because like if you have like a suspicion of like who would have like a producer or something like that, for example, like getting in contact would also be pretty hard too, you know? Which like,
yeah, it certainly does depend like from topic to topic.
Yeah, because like with the Me and My Friends search, like I know it was like really hard getting like contact back and forth, you know? But like for other searches it'd be a lot easier and everything like that too. I can't think of an easier one off the top of my head right now, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I remember like the people who made that cartoon called Sammy.
Yeah.
Like that one. I know the guy, his name is Matt, who got that found, and he contacted crew members. They were like crew names and stuff, and he contacted them, and they were like super easy to talk to. They were like they remembered the show very like fondly, and they were like super cool about it. And that's how we got it found. Is some guy that worked on it had all the like master tapes or copies of them, and he digitized them, and it was just a really cool, clean search. That was a much easier instance of like, okay, like a guy that worked on it really liked it and remembered it, didn't even know it was lost, and then provided the content.
Okay.
Whereas Me and My Friends people like don't even like, they did not care about it. They don't want to be bothered by it. Like
it
was
just push it over to the side and forget about it, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. So for my last question here, what are your thoughts now that it's been about I don't know how long, probably like 1 year maybe. It's been about 2 years since EKT got found, because I feel like after it got found, after the first like 3, 4, 5 days of it being found, everybody's like, all right, it's found now, let's move on from it and like go find other things, which is like, yeah, that's understandable, but like I feel like not a lot of people was like as hyped as I was hoping for, you know? Which like people were hyped, don't get me wrong, but like I feel like after a couple days they just like pushed it aside and kind of like, you know, forgot about it. It's like, what are your thoughts?
I feel like that's probably the natural cycle of, because with that topic specifically, that wasn't even the first time I had like seen that. I've noticed that for quite a while with big things that get found. Jumper, going back to that would be a really, really good example. I feel like with most topics, you have like the initial interest period where like it exists. Then you have like the almost like the plot of the plot of like a movie or anything. You have like the initial beginnings, you have like the rising action, the climax, the falling action, resolution. And I feel like this can be applied to any piece of lost media. The lead up to the find is always the biggest. Then it comes out and people kind of bask in the, oh, we found it, like let's listen to the song or watch the pilot. And then after that, it's like
dies down
because it's not really providing any additional content. It just you achieved the goal. There's no other thing to do here. Then it's like, well, what do we do now? Yeah, and then you have that cycle I mentioned with the day with SpongeBob where it's like, well, what do we do now? It's like, so I definitely think though, like in regards to topics dying down, I think for me at least, it's more interesting looking back on those topics. Maybe this was sort of more to the question, looking back on them years in the future and figuring out where they cement their place in history. Like, I remember when the Blueprints pilot came out and the Shrek pilot, and that was all like back to back, and like those are crazy hype when those first came out, and everyone, and then after, like, I don't hear anyone talk about the Shrek pilot, and it's like, it's interesting because looking back at that, like 2 or 3 years later, we can see, okay, everyone knows that is still the most popular Lost Wave song. That's very interesting. The Shrek pilot, I see no one talk about that at all anymore. Like that it's like that was found and then no one cared. So like you can kind of weigh the different topics against each other, in the future now, and see which ones are still remembered and which ones are kind of forgotten. I think that's a more interesting way to look at like the history of the community rather than just like, oh, we found something and like now no one cares about it, like the next day. Because you're exactly right, because that happens with everything. So I feel like it's not a super productive way to kind of gauge like the interest or the long lasting impacts of the different topics in the community.
Okay, well,
oh my God, good times.
I do have to go, so I appreciate you coming out and doing this with me.
Yeah, thanks. I had a lot of fun with this one.
Goodbye.